Hey everyone, Dr. William Lee here, and I need to tell you about something that happened in my office yesterday that absolutely shocked me. I was reviewing patient data from the last month, and I noticed something that most brain doctors, cardiologists, and even most general practitioners completely miss. It has to do with something you probably do every single day, sometimes twice a day, without giving it a second thought. I'm talking about showering. But here's the thing, it's not just about showering. It's a very specific habit that happens during your shower that's dramatically increasing the stroke risk for thousands of seniors right now, and most of them have absolutely no idea they're doing it. I was so shocked when I connected the dots that I decided I had to make this video to get the information out to as many people as possible, especially if you're over 55 or if you have someone in your life who is. Let me start by saying that I've been studying neurology and cardiovascular health for over 20 years. I've spent countless hours in research, countless hours with patients, and I've seen things that would surprise even the most health-conscious people out there. But when one of my patients came in last week with a minor stroke, and I started asking her detailed questions about her daily habits, something clicked. She told me about her morning routine, and when she got to the part about her shower, everything made sense. This is why I'm here today, and I'm genuinely excited to walk you through exactly what's happening in your body, why it's so dangerous, especially as we age, and most importantly, what you can do about it starting today. Now, before we dive in, I want to say that if you're watching this and you care about your health, or you care about the health of your parents or grandparents, please stay with me all the way to the end, because I'm going to give you very specific, actionable steps that you can take right now to protect yourself. Also, if this information resonates with you and you think it could help someone you know, please share this video, because frankly, this is the kind of information that should be taught in health class, should be discussed by every primary care doctor, and should be on the evening news. Let's talk about what happens to your body when you take a shower. Most people think about a shower as a simple hygiene task. You get in, you wash up, you get out. But your body is going through an incredibly complex series of physiological changes the moment that water hits your skin. When you step into a hot shower, especially a very hot shower, your body immediately responds. Your blood vessels, particularly the ones near your skin, dilate or expand. This is your body's way of trying to cool itself down because it senses that external heat. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure goes up, and your body starts sweating to try to regulate your temperature. All of this is normal and happens in healthy people every single day. But here's where it gets dangerous, and this is crucial to understand. For people over 55, and especially for people over 65, something very different is happening. The mechanism that controls your blood pressure, the system that keeps your blood vessels flexible and responsive, and the neurological signals that help regulate your heart rate, all of these systems start to decline with age. It's not because something is wrong with you, it's just the reality of aging. Your blood vessel walls become less elastic. Your autonomic nervous system, which is the system that automatically controls these responses without you thinking about it, becomes less responsive. And your baroreceptors, which are basically sensors that tell your brain when your blood pressure is changing, become less sensitive. So when a senior steps into a hot shower, their body is trying to mount the same response that a 30-year-old's body would mount, but the system isn't as efficient anymore. Now add to this another layer. Most people, and I mean most people, take very hot showers. The hotter the water, the more dramatic the blood vessel dilation, and the more extreme the cardiovascular response. I've had patients tell me they like their showers so hot that they can barely stand to be in there for the first 30 seconds. That's your body screaming at you that it's experiencing significant stress. When you combine that extreme heat with an aging cardiovascular system that can't respond as efficiently, you're essentially creating a situation where your blood pressure spikes and your body is working overtime to try to regulate itself. But wait, there's more. Here's the part that most people don't think about. When you're in that hot shower, especially if you're in there for a long time, two things are happening simultaneously. Your blood vessels are dilated, so blood is pooling in your skin, trying to cool you down. This means there's less blood available to go to your brain and your vital organs. At the same time, you're losing water from your body through perspiration. You might not realize how much water you're losing in a hot shower. It's actually quite significant. Your body is becoming dehydrated in real time while you're standing there. Now, dehydration makes your blood thicker. Thicker blood is harder for your heart to pump, and it increases your risk of clot formation. Are you starting to see how this creates a perfect storm for stroke risk? Let me break down the stroke mechanism for you because this is where it gets really important. A stroke happens in one of two ways. You can have an ischemic stroke, which is about 85% of all strokes, where a blood clot forms and blocks blood flow to the brain. Or you can have a hemorrhagic stroke, which is where a blood vessel bursts and bleeds into the brain. Both types of strokes can be triggered or made more likely by certain situations, and a hot shower creates several of those risk factors simultaneously. When you're in a hot shower, your blood pressure is elevated. You're dehydrated, which makes your blood thicker and more prone to clotting. Your blood vessels are dilated, which affects the normal flow of blood. And if you have any underlying cardiovascular issues, maybe you have a slight irregularity in your heartbeat, maybe you have high cholesterol, maybe you have blood pressure that's not perfectly controlled, then you're essentially putting your body in a state where a clot is more likely to form and your brain is more vulnerable because it's getting less oxygen-rich blood due to the dehydration and the blood pooling in your skin. I had a patient named Margaret. She was 72 years old, and she came in after experiencing what we call a TIA, a transient ischemic attack. It's basically a mini stroke that resolves on its own, but it's a huge warning sign. When I asked her about her routine, she told me that she loved taking very hot showers, sometimes for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. She said it was the best part of her day. She'd step out of that shower feeling dizzy sometimes, but she figured that was just normal. That dizziness is a red flag. That's your blood pressure dropping too suddenly after being elevated. That's your blood vessels struggling to readjust. That's your autonomic nervous system telling you that it's under stress. Margaret made some changes to her shower routine, and we haven't seen any more TIA events. Now, I want to talk about a specific habit that I think is the real culprit here, and this is what shocked me the most. It's not just the hot shower itself. It's what happens when you combine a hot shower with something else that people do automatically. Many people, especially seniors, turn the water as hot as they can tolerate, and then they stand there sometimes for 15, 20, 30 minutes. But here's the critical habit I'm talking about. Are you ready? It's rapid position changes in the shower. People stand there. They're getting heat exposure. Their blood vessels are dilated, their blood is pooling in their skin, they're dehydrating, and then they suddenly stand up straight after bending down to wash their legs, or they turn their head quickly to rinse their hair, or they step out of the shower suddenly and stand up to reach for a towel. These rapid position changes, combined with all the other factors we've talked about, can cause a sudden drop in blood flow to your brain, a sudden change in blood pressure, and in some cases this is enough to trigger a stroke event. The medical term for this is orthostatic hypotension, and it's exacerbated by dehydration and extreme temperature changes. When you're young and healthy, your body compensates for these position changes automatically. But when you're older, that compensation system is slower and less effective. So you change positions, your blood pressure hasn't had time to adjust, and for a moment your brain isn't getting enough blood. Most of the time, nothing bad happens. But if you have any underlying cardiovascular issues, if you have plaque in your arteries, if you have an irregular heartbeat, if you have high cholesterol, then that moment of decreased blood flow to your brain could be the trigger that dislodges a clot or causes one to form. Now let's talk about dehydration, because this is critical. When you're in a hot shower, you're losing water from your body in two ways. First, you're sweating. Your body is trying to cool itself down through perspiration. Second, you're losing water through your skin in a process called insensible water loss. These losses are happening even though you might not realize it, because the water from the shower is making you feel wet, but the water leaving your body is different from the water on your skin. The water leaving your body is depleting your blood volume. This makes your blood more concentrated, thicker, and more viscous. Thicker blood is harder to pump, and it's more prone to clotting. It's like the difference between water flowing through a pipe and honey flowing through a pipe. Honey moves slower and is more likely to get stuck. For seniors, dehydration is already a risk factor because many older adults don't drink enough water throughout the day. They don't feel thirsty as often as younger people, and their kidneys aren't as efficient at retaining water. So if an older person is already slightly dehydrated and then they spend 15 minutes in a hot shower, they could become moderately or significantly dehydrated in a matter of minutes. This increases their stroke risk substantially. Let me also talk about something called the vasovagal response, because this might be relevant to some of you. Some people, especially if they have certain genetic predispositions or cardiovascular conditions, can experience a sudden drop in heart rate and blood pressure when exposed to extreme heat or certain other triggers. This is the body's parasympathetic nervous system overreacting. When this happens, blood flow to the brain can decrease dramatically, and in some cases, this can trigger a stroke, especially in people who have underlying cerebrovascular disease. I've seen cases where people have fainted in a shower, hit their head, and that trauma combined with the cardiovascular stress caused a stroke event. Now, let me shift gears and talk about the specific habits that are putting you at highest risk. The first one is the temperature of the water. If you're taking showers that are so hot that you can't comfortably put your hand under the water without pulling it away, that's too hot. The ideal temperature for a shower, especially for anyone over 55, is warm, not hot. Think of it this way: the water should feel comfortable, not extreme. A temperature of around 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. That's about 35 degrees Celsius. This is warm enough that it feels good and helps you relax, but it's not so hot that it's causing extreme vasodilation and significant dehydration. The second habit is duration. How long are you spending in the shower? If you're spending 30 minutes in a hot shower, that's too long, especially as you age. I recommend that anyone over 55 limit their showers to about 10 to 15 minutes maximum. This gives you enough time to wash and rinse, but it doesn't give your body enough time to become significantly dehydrated or experience extreme temperature stress. The third habit is rapid position changes and movements. This is something most people don't even think about. When you're in the shower, try to move slowly and deliberately. If you need to bend down to wash your legs, do it slowly. If you're going to stand up, give yourself a moment to adjust. If you're going to turn your head to rinse your hair, do it smoothly, not quickly. These slow movements give your cardiovascular system time to adjust and prevent the sudden drops in blood flow that we talked about. The fourth habit is not drinking water while showering or immediately after. This is especially important. Many people don't realize how dehydrated they become in a hot shower. One of the best things you can do is to drink water before your shower. But also, and this is important, drink water immediately after your shower. If you notice that you feel dizzy after a shower, that's a sign that you've become significantly dehydrated. You need to start rehydrating immediately. Let me give you some specific warning signs that your shower routine might be putting you at risk. If you ever feel dizzy or lightheaded when you step out of the shower, that's a red flag. If you ever feel your heart racing while you're in the shower, that's a warning sign. If you feel confused or disoriented when you're in a hot shower, that's your brain telling you that it's not getting enough blood. If you ever see dark spots or feel like you're going to faint in the shower, those are serious warning signs, and you need to modify your shower routine immediately. Now, I want to talk about specific groups of people who are at even higher risk. If you have a history of high blood pressure, you're at higher risk. If you have high cholesterol, you're at higher risk. If you have diabetes, you're at higher risk. If you have any kind of cardiovascular disease, or if you've had a stroke before, you're at significantly higher risk. If you take blood pressure medications, you need to be especially careful because these medications can increase your susceptibility to orthostatic hypotension. If you're dehydrated from any cause, maybe you've been sick, maybe you're on a diuretic medication, maybe you're not drinking enough water, then you're at higher risk when you take a hot shower. Let me give you the specific action steps that I want you to take starting today. First, assess your current shower temperature. Get a thermometer and check the temperature of your shower water. If it's above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, you need to lower it. Adjust your water heater if necessary, or simply adjust the hot and cold knobs to create a more moderate temperature. Second, set a timer for your showers. Limit them to 10 to 15 minutes maximum. I know that some people use shower time as a way to relax and decompress, and that's fine. But you can decompress in a lukewarm shower just as easily as a hot shower. The point is to get the hygiene benefit of the shower without putting your cardiovascular system under unnecessary stress. Third, practice slow, deliberate movements in the shower. Don't rush. Don't make quick position changes. Move smoothly and give your body time to adjust to any changes in position. Fourth, drink water. Drink a glass of water before your shower and drink a glass of water immediately after your shower. This simple habit can dramatically reduce your stroke risk. Fifth, if you ever feel dizzy, lightheaded, or confused in the shower, get out immediately. Don't try to tough it out. Those are warning signs that something is wrong. Sit down, drink some water, and let yourself recover. Sixth, consider talking to your doctor about your shower routine, especially if you have any risk factors for stroke. Your doctor can give you personalized recommendations based on your specific health situation. Seventh, if you're taking blood pressure medications or any medications that can affect your blood pressure, talk to your doctor about whether your shower routine might be interacting with your medications. Now let me tell you about some additional factors that can increase your risk if they're combined with a hot shower routine. If you have sleep apnea, you're at higher risk. Sleep apnea disrupts your oxygen levels at night, so your cardiovascular system is already under stress. Adding a hot shower to that stress increases your stroke risk. If you're stressed or anxious, your blood pressure is already elevated, and a hot shower can push it even higher. If you have an irregular heartbeat or atrial fibrillation, you're at higher risk because your heart is already not pumping blood as efficiently as it should be. I want to be very clear about something. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm trying to educate. The fact that hot showers can increase stroke risk doesn't mean you should never take another shower. It means you should be mindful about how you shower, especially if you're over 55 or if you have risk factors for stroke. Small changes in your shower routine can have a big impact on your health. Let me also talk about some alternative ways to stay clean that might be safer for people who are at very high risk. Some of my patients prefer to take baths with lukewarm water instead of showers. Baths can be safer because you're not standing, so there's no risk of falling if you become dizzy. Just make sure the water is not too hot. Some people prefer to use a washcloth with lukewarm water at a sink if they're concerned about hot showers. The point is to find a way to maintain your hygiene without putting your health at risk. I also want to talk about something that surprised me in my research. The time of day you shower can actually matter. Some studies suggest that strokes are more common in the early morning, which is why many people have heart attacks or strokes in the shower in the morning. This is partly because your blood pressure naturally rises in the morning and your blood is slightly thicker from being dehydrated overnight. So if you're someone who likes to take a hot shower first thing in the morning, you might want to reconsider that timing. Maybe take your shower later in the day when your cardiovascular system is more stable and you've had time to drink water and rehydrate from the night. Let me also mention something about humidity. When you're in a hot shower, you're not just exposed to heat from the water. You're also exposed to humidity, which can increase your core body temperature and intensify the cardiovascular stress. Make sure your bathroom has good ventilation. If you don't have a bathroom fan, consider installing one. This will help reduce the humidity and reduce the overall temperature stress on your body. I want to tell you about another patient of mine, Robert, who was 78 years old. He was a former athlete, very proud of his fitness, and he loved his hot showers. He'd been taking very hot showers for decades without any problems, but at 78, his cardiovascular system had changed. He didn't realize it because he felt healthy. One morning, he stepped out of his hot shower, felt dizzy, and actually fainted right there in the bathroom. Fortunately, he didn't hit his head, but when he came to my office, I did a bunch of tests and found that he had some significant plaque buildup in his carotid arteries. He was a stroke waiting to happen. We discovered this only because of his shower fainting episode. After he modified his shower routine and made some dietary changes, he's been doing great. He's now 81 and he's never had a stroke. He's changed his entire shower routine and his life has been better for it. Here's another important point. Some medications can increase your risk in a hot shower. If you're taking medications for blood pressure, for heart disease, for high cholesterol, or for anxiety or depression, talk to your doctor about whether these medications increase your stroke risk in hot environments. Some of these medications actually increase your susceptibility to dehydration or orthostatic hypotension, which means hot showers are even more risky for you. Let me also address something for the women in the audience. Menopause and postmenopause can affect your cardiovascular system in ways that increase your stroke risk. Hot flashes, for example, can temporarily increase your blood pressure. If you experience hot flashes, a hot shower might be triggering additional cardiovascular stress that you're not even aware of. Postmenopausal women have increased stroke risk compared to premenopausal women, partly because they no longer have the protective effects of estrogen. So if you're a woman over 50, this information is especially important for you. Now, I want to talk about hydration more broadly because it's so important and many seniors don't drink enough water. Proper hydration is one of the single most important things you can do to reduce your stroke risk. I recommend that most adults drink at least 8 glasses of water a day, but honestly, as you age, you should probably be drinking a bit more because your thirst mechanism becomes less effective. Make it a habit to drink water throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty, but consistently throughout the day. This will keep your blood volume stable, keep your blood at a healthier viscosity, and reduce your stroke risk. Let me also mention something about temperature regulation throughout the day. If you're someone who tends to get cold easily, you might be tempted to take very hot showers to warm up, but there are better ways to stay warm. Use warm blankets, wear layers of clothing, exercise to generate heat, drink warm beverages. A hot shower is not the ideal way to maintain your body temperature, especially if you're at risk for stroke. I want to emphasize again that the goal here is not to eliminate hot showers from your life. It's to be smart about them, especially as you age. A warm shower is still incredibly beneficial. It helps you maintain hygiene. It feels good. It can help with muscle soreness and recovery. But there's no health benefit from taking an excessively hot shower that outweighs the stroke risk. Let me give you one final set of recommendations. Start a health tracking habit. Write down any symptoms you experience related to your shower. Do you feel dizzy? Do you feel your heart racing? Do you feel confused? If you notice any of these symptoms, that's your body telling you that your shower routine needs to change. Keep a simple log for a week or two and then take that log to your doctor. This information will help your doctor give you personalized recommendations. Also, talk to your family about this. If you have aging parents or grandparents, share this information with them. Ask them about their shower routine. See if you can help them make changes that might reduce their stroke risk. Many seniors don't realize the danger they're putting themselves in with excessively hot showers because it's such a normal part of their routine. Finally, understand that stroke prevention is about reducing your overall risk through many small changes in habits. Modifying your shower routine is one piece of the puzzle, but you also need to exercise, eat a healthy diet, maintain a healthy weight, manage your stress, get adequate sleep, and if you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, make sure those are being treated. All of these things together create a comprehensive stroke prevention plan. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this information helped you or if you think it could help someone you know, please share it. Please like this video, leave a comment, and let me know if you have any questions about your shower routine or your stroke risk. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do, because I'm constantly sharing evidence-based health information that can help you live a longer, healthier life. Your health is too important to leave to chance. Take control of it starting today with something as simple as adjusting your shower temperature and duration. I'll see you in the next video.